Welcome to one more of the Premier Project podcast where we discuss the best ways to implement the multi-actor approach during the project proposal writing stage. My name is Mikelis Grivins. Our guests for today are Jon Warning and Hanne Cooreman from ILVO. Hi Jon.
Hello.
Hi
Hello,
Hanne.
Hi Mikelis.
And as usual we are also joined by my colleague Adamsone-Fiskovica.
Hello, nice to meet you.
So the introductions are out of the way. As usual, we are talking about multi-actor approach. But before we start to discuss this, could you maybe shortly introduce yourselves?
Yeah, sure. I'm Hanne Cooreman. I work for ILVO. It's the Flanders Research Institute for Agricultural Food and Fisheries in Flanders in Belgium located. And I'm a social sciences researcher. And we are researching, mostly I'm researching knowledge exchange topics, but also farmer-to-farmer learning. And we are in this project for the multi-actor toolbox.
Okay.
Yeah. My name is Jon Warning. I'm a colleague of Hanne, also working for ILVO. Before that, I had a background in international projects. So I have worked co-creatively and transdisciplinary before it was called multi-actor, which is an interesting change of pace, I think.
Yeah, it seems that almost everybody whom we are talking with says that they have been working with something similar like multi-actor approach without knowing that it will be called someday multi-actor approach. But now we are united under this umbrella, and we have had quite a few recordings already, and we have been discussing different aspects of multi-actor, but you are in a very specific position because you have compiled this toolbox which compiles the best instruments for actually putting together a multi-actor project proposal. So could you maybe elaborate what does it mean, a multi-actor approach toolbox?
Yeah, so anyone, especially if you're in a position like anyone for Horizon is, in a proposal phase where you're limited on time and resources and you have to compile a lot of opinions from a lot of people to get to one thesis and one nice proposal that is coherent, you will need some support. Like maybe there's people out there that can wing it and produce something really great, but why not let yourself be helped by introducing tools to this mix?
Okay, so tools help.
It saves you time, it saves you thing, and you get a better result in the end. So that's what a tool is for. Yeah.
Okay, but internet is full of tools, and you can basically, if you are good at searching in Google or ChatGPT, you probably will find something. So I wonder, is multi-actor approach so different that you need something very specific?
I think, of course, you can find very good tools on the internet. We really want to help that process be as efficient as possible, because we all know in this process of writing a proposal, nobody actually has the time to do it decently. So we really want to make that as efficient a process as possible. So we did the work for the people. So instead of needing to scan to, 3,000 tools that are out there on the internet, let's say, we did that process. So we scanned them to be available in English, to be less than 30 minutes to read them. And we also score them on multi-actor skills. So you really have these tools there in this toolbox that are actually the most relevant, that will actually help you, and not needing you to read 20 tools before you find the right one.
So I think we scanned through 1,400 tools, and now we end up at 110, and then we comprise those into 42, let's say, clusters.
1,400 it's a massive pile of tools.
I mean, everyone is welcome to do that work themselves, right, in their proposal phase, and I wish them a lot of fun, but it is tedious to find the right tool.
But I would assume that there was none of the tools labeled as multi-actor approach. So you had the hard job of actually putting it under that umbrella and understanding which tools would fall under this category, right?
Yes, that's true. We went through co-creation, we went through communities of practice, we went through multiple stakeholders, multiple perspectives, different labels.
We basically had to redefine what MAA means on an individual level, right? So because a tool is enhancing someone's capacities, right? So
you had to operationalize the concept to actually get to a methodology where you know what you're selecting.
Well, how do you otherwise tell which tool is MAA appropriate and which one is not? You need a metric to
So could you maybe lift the curtain, or lift the curtain, or what's the saying, and explain us a little bit what are these criteria that distinguish any tool from multi-actor tool?
Yeah. So
Sure.
yeah, you wanna?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So in the process of finding out what the most frequently asked questions are by practitioners and that kind of stuff, we collected a ton of data, and we used also your nice work to produce 9 MAA skills, and they range from being aware that different organizations have different limitations and being able to work with that, to being like capable of working in a digital environment, because of course like a European project is not any kind of project that you do in a physical space in one location. It is a diaspora of like effort across Europe, so you need to have that interface. So
also working with different professional backgrounds, also being very transparent about your goals and your agenda and what is going to be in the project and what is not going to be there, and also being very aware of the user groups that around you.
Yeah. So it's both skills, but then also a very specific way how you actually organize your work.
Yeah, in a sense, it sets you up as a person. Like if you would possess, in theory, if you would possess all of these skills appropriately, then you would be able to participate very well and be very suited for a multi-actor. Of course, nobody is perfect, so we don't expect anyone to have all those nice skills. That's what the tools are for.
Okay.
Right? They are helping you as a group organize and fix gaps and like.
But you mentioned the focus on an individual. Can you differentiate where we are speaking about tools for, I don't know, institutions, organizations, and where it's up to an individual? Did you feel this difference in the tools?
I mean, the tools will be used by individuals, even if they're part of an organization or not. So we really design it for one person looking for, I need this specific tool.
Right.
I mean, that person can be a coordinator or a novice participant or a facilitator. That's perfectly fine. And you can, in the toolbox, you can just click the check mark and you will see a list specific for that category. But in the end, that person probably brings it to the consortium or does something individual with it. And there's tools for everyone, for every step there.
I was wondering if you're basing this on specific skills needed for multi-actor approach, where there are some gaps that you couldn't locate actually tools that would be appropriate for that?
I think a very hard one was end user.
Yeah.
Finding end users or how to involve them from the start of proposal writing, because they are very hard to reach, have zero time. Maybe you don't know where to find them, and they don't know how to engage with you. So I think this was a very hard group.
Yeah. It was also a difficult skill to like fill the toolbox with, and we did an analysis. I don't know off the top of my head which tools were like the least number of tools represented, but that is it was a thing we did, and we tried to fill that gap as best as possible, and we're still like waiting or like anticipating the community to reach out and present us.
Okay, so for people who are listening to us, first of all, we will add in the description of the podcast the link to the toolbox, and then you can reach out to ILVO and actually suggest your own tools, and they will be implemented to the toolbox.
Yes, please, because we have until the end of the project, which is 2027, to keep on filling this toolbox with tools. So I'm sure we are missing some. We tried our best. I'm sure we're missing some.
I mean, 1400 is not the entire internet.
But it's a lot. So yeah, but maybe the opposite question to what Anda asked. So you mentioned which were the least represented areas where you found the least tools. Which were the most populated areas where there were abundance of tools?
Facilitation.
Yes, facilitation methods.
Yeah.
So do you have any hypothesis why?
Because it's, I guess, applicable in so many different, like multi-actor is just one application, a field of application for those kind of tools. Like, and there's like 15,000 icebreakers if you want to look for them, and we purposely try to exclude them out of because that's not what the toolbox is for, but we try to include some that are specifically suited for the MAA process, so that do the participation, like have the consortium members have a voice. Those we include, and still then you have a ton of options. So I mean, it makes sense. I guess that there's a ton of them, but yeah, it was curious. Yeah.
So I guess I'm not sure it's the lesson learned, but maybe something that people can take away is that there will be areas where you can find support much more easy, but then there are areas where it's harder, but still there are things. So visit the toolbox or do your own research, and probably you'll find some help. But maybe looking at the whole 1400 that you assessed, do you have any now assessment what makes a good tool and what makes a bad tool?
A tool is only valuable in the right context. So we specifically looked for MAA appropriate support. So the tool should support any specific aspect of the MAA. That's where the 9 skills are for. So, in that sense, we can now recognize which tools do that well. You shouldn't use a hammer as a saw, and vice versa. So, if you're not looking for MAA specific tools, don't use a toolbox. If you are, use the toolbox, because that will save you a lot of research and finding your own appropriate tools.
And as I said before, the tools that we put in there are easy to use. So you have tons of very useful books about a multi-actor, for example, but that will take you way longer than 30 minutes to get into depth, and that's not what we focused on. So we really focused on directly usable tools that won't take you that much time.
Which seems almost counterintuitive, because usually when you think if it is good, you have to spend a lot of time on that, but then you are saying you can't find good solutions for just 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you were also struggling with the concept of tool, I guess.
Yes.
But maybe specifically with regard to the multi-actor context.
Scope creep is real when you're talking about tools. Well, I mean, where does a tool stop? That was a troublesome thing.
So maybe we should give some examples. So you have workshop formats, for example, in there that will tell you how to run the workshop. You have checklists. You have links to videos. You have what else? The Memi game, like a game you can play. It's in there. You have Excel templates. So these are what we call tools. So all these things are tools.
I think what you mentioned just a moment ago, I think it's important to note that there are also originally developed tools also by the Premier project, not only those sourced outside, right?
Yeah, indeed. So definitely those from Premier are in there, but of course also we mentioned tools and we refer to tools that are not made by Premier originally.
You are in this unique position where you have actually scanned all of that, and probably you have a very firm grasp of how the process goes from the initial thought that somebody should participate in multi-actor approach till the submission moment. So for somebody who is now thinking I should really apply or I should do something, could you maybe give some pointers where to start and where maybe to look back and have I done everything right and am I in the right position?
You make it sound like we have all the answers.
Yeah, you do.
And it sounds good, right? But no, we built a wizard in the toolbox. So it's
wizard.
It's a user guide, let's say, right? It's a technical term. A user guide. So basically, if you're not entirely sure what you're looking for, but you have a question. We built a question tree so you can follow through on the most appropriate question, and it will show you a part of the toolbox. So it pre-filters for you and it shows you an appropriate set of tools that fit the question that you had in mind, or at least an approximation of the question you had.
So if I would write, I don't know where to start, it could give me something.
No. It is more. It's more static. So if you say I don't know where to find partners, right? Then one of the first question is how do you find partners and coordinators, right? And you click on it, and it comes the next question, and you basically are guided through, and we have all coded the tools to answer one or more of these specific questions. And so at the end of those questions, you'll be presented with a toolbox, but then not the entire toolbox, not the 110 tools, or 112 now, but only a subsection that is relevant for that question. So it sort of helps you get there. It's not a LLM model that would be.
It's kind of a multiple choice decision tree.
Yeah.
Okay. And is it suitable only for novices or who actually should be the...
anyone with a question, right?
Okay.
It works. In the end, you might have to filter a little bit more, right? If you're a coordinator and you go through the question tree, you will find also tools that are potentially not for coordinator, but for partners or for novices. But you can very quickly see at the tags like, this is for coordinators or for
Okay,
else.
yeah, so they are properly labeled and people can orient themselves.
Would it be also suitable for those consulting, those who want to apply the multi-hectare approach, or it's rather more for those who actually engage it?
Anyone with a question?
Okay.
That person has a question, I assume.
So if you have a question, you heard it from Jon.
If you have a question related to MEA,
Okay, so point well taken. If you have a question related to MAA, probably the toolbox can assist you and make your life much easier.
Yes.
And if it doesn't, please do the research and then send your results to us, and then we can help anyone after you.
Okay, so I would love to continue this conversation for an hour or two, but unfortunately we are limited in our time. Thank you, Jon. Thank you, Hanne. Thank you, Anda, for being so proactive with your questions.
Always welcome.
Without you, our podcast would fail completely. But seriously, thank you. This was very interesting, and let's continue our conversation later in the evening with a glass of wine.
Thank you, Mikelis.
Okay,
Nice to
bye.